Hi guys, it is Cara the Bubble Lush and it is cycle day 1. I'm super excited for this cycle because it is my first injectable cycle, and I think that if anything I'm at least going to have a follicle and at least going to have a chance, unlike cycle 1 and 2. So let me just kind of tell you what's going on. So it's Saturday morning. This is actually cycle day 2, but I was really tired when I got home, so I'm filming this early and gonna upload it the same day. What happened was Friday morning, Chris and Hannah and I all went to my RE's office to learn how to do injections. Since we're doing an injectable cycle and it's not just a syringe, it's a pin and there's a little cartridge and stuff, we had to take a little teaching class to learn how to do it. And I also learned how to do the Minipure and stuff just in case we added in some different medications later on. But as for right now, it looks like I'm just going to be on the Follistim 75 IUs a day. And so we learned how to do the pin, everything, and then she said, call us on cycle day 1. So Chris and I finished up the class pretty early. I went straight to work and Chris and Hannah went back home. And then at 11 o'clock at work I went to the bathroom and cycle day 1 started. So I had to call the clinic up and be like, hey, guess what? We're starting injections this weekend. The bad thing was my doctor was out of town this weekend. He didn't even come in to work on Friday, and he wasn't going to be back until Monday, and my first injection was supposed to be Sunday night. So they had to get a different doctor to verify the prescription and call it in, and when I go in on Sunday morning, which will be cycle day 3, for an ultrasound and blood work, then I'll pick up my medication then. But I definitely wanted to get it finalized today, Friday, because you know, otherwise there is a doctor on staff on Saturday, but he's pretty busy and he's just there for a few hours in the morning. So anyway, so that was kind of exciting and unexpected, and I'm definitely pumped to get this cycle underway. Our due date is like, if we conceive this cycle, our due date would be the first part of December. So this is kind of our last chance to have a 2012 baby, and then otherwise we're looking at 2013. So either way it doesn't really matter, but I just kind of, for some reason, always pictured, you know, Hannah was born in 2010 and then the next baby being born in 2012, and it's taking us so long to even just get that first chance to try to conceive. Remember, we went back to the RE in September, and that was, you know, 5 months ago, nearly 6 months ago now. So taking a couple months to get Hannah weaned, and then the 2 cycles before that were canceled because I didn't respond. It's just kind of been a really slow start, and it's kind of pushed the timeline back further and further and further. So yeah, I have a lot of hope for this cycle. I especially like that I'm going to be monitored so closely. And the bad thing about a Clomid and Femara cycle is that you take the medication cycle day 3 through 7 or 5 through 10, 5 through 9, whatever it may be, and then you go in one time when you're supposed to ovulate and you kind of see whether or not you respond to the medicine. The difference with an injectable cycle is you go in on cycle day maybe like 8 or 9, and you have an ultrasound done and they look at how your follicles are growing, and if you're not responding quick enough and they need to raise your dosage, they can do it right then. So you kind of have a second chance in that same cycle, and you don't just have to be like, oh well, next cycle we'll raise your dose. So I like that it can be tweaked as you're going, and they do that not only through the ultrasound but also through testing your estrogen levels. So I'm really excited. I'm excited. Like I said, I have a lot of hope for this cycle, and even if we don't conceive this cycle, I'm just hoping I have a dominant follicle. Like, really, that's all I want. I just want to, like, have an ultrasound and see, like, a nice big follicle and be super proud of my ovaries. So hopefully, I'm really hopeful that that happens. I think 75 IUs is kind of a low dose, and like I said, when I met with my doctor and we kind of set forth the game plan for this cycle, If you remember, he called me a slow cooker, and that he thinks that I'm just going to need kind of a low dose for a longer amount of time, because he doesn't want to overwhelm my body and produce way too many follicles and have to cancel the cycle or talk about IVF. I really do not want to pursue IVF at this point, purely from a financial standpoint. I think that we can do a better job of managing the follicle growth and keeping it kind of controlled financially. Obviously, the injections cost some money, and all the ultrasounds and the IUI cost money, but nowhere near the price of an IVF cycle. So for those that have asked in the past, like, why don't you just do IVF? I don't think that you guys have ever looked at the price of IVF. It is definitely very expensive. It's also a very invasive procedure. I mean, they put a needle through your vaginal wall. Like, that is intense. And I am so glad that the technology for IVF exists, because it is an amazing thing, and it gives so much hope to the families that really need IVF. Most of the time you do IVF if you have a male factor infertility condition, because when they take those follicles out and they put them in a little petri dish or whatever, and this is what I imagine. I imagine them like having a petri dish and, like, you know, putting your eggs on there and then taking like a vial of semen and just like kind of dumping it on top and being like, go to work. All right, yeah, okay. And like, obviously it's way more complex than that, but you know, timed intercourse, you're just making sure the semen has an opportunity to be where it needs to be at the right time. An IUI, you cut that marathon in half, because you introduce the semen like right at the fallopian tube, so they don't have to swim, you know, through your cervix and through your uterus and everything. They just have to swim through the fallopian tubes. And then with IVF, you're literally just like dumping them right on top. And then with ICSI, I-C-S-I, you're actually inserting one sperm into the egg. So those final two options, IVF and IVF with ICSI, are definitely the way to go if you have a severe male factor infertility condition, but we do not. We have a Carla condition. Like, I don't ovulate well. So that's why for us, medication is the way to go. And some would even say that an IUI is like overkill for us. But since it's so hard to get me to produce a good follicle, I want to increase the chances of conception every time we do have a shot. So that's why we have chosen to do IUI with timed intercourse. And that's, you know, that's really just our choice, just to try to give us the best odds each time, because I don't necessarily I don't necessarily care how the child is conceived. Like, that's not a big deal to me. I just want them to be conceived. So I don't have any issues with IUI. I think, like IVF, it is an amazing technology. It's super beneficial to families going through infertility and wanting to increase their chances, and so I don't have any problem with it. But to answer your question, that's why we haven't done IVFs, because my husband does not have any male factor infertility issues, so it's at this point it's a little overkill for us. But if I continue to have problems, then it's a possibility that that could be the choice for us. But considering that I got pregnant with an IUI before, that's what we're going to stick with for now. If you have any other questions for this cycle, please feel free to leave them below, because I will answer them, not a problem. I know that I don't remember seeing a lot of injectable TTC videos, so this might kind of be the only one that's floating around right now. So if you do have any questions about injectable medicine, now is your chance to ask them, and since I am in such close contact with my doctors, I can easily ask them and get a professional-ish answer for you. So thanks so much for following this journey. I'm really, really excited to have you guys along with me and rooting me on and supporting me, because I love it and I need it. And this has been already a long journey, and it's just getting started. So I'm so glad I have you guys to talk to, and this is going to be the cycle. This is going to be it. Even if we don't conceive, it is going to at least produce a follicle. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and have a great weekend. Bye, guys.